Cowboy. I'm on the crystal microphone right now.
That ain't loud enough. That ain't
Clorox
loud enough.
Cowboy time.
That ain't loud
Right
enough.
now.
That ain't loud enough.
There's no change. Only a change in the microphone. This is the Clorox Cowboy on the crystal microphone right now. There's no change. I'm still the same person, but I'm the Clorox Cowboy right now.
That ain't loud enough.
I don't know if you know any of the people on WFMU.
I know some of the DJs, not personally, but I just
There's a guy named Don Fields. He did a zine, as they're called, back in the 1980s, of me with a boom microphone going around recording stuff.
oh
Did I ever show that to you? I'll have to find it and send you. It just shows he's got little drawings like cartoons of me with the microphone pointing down at things going all around. It's real goofy.
And now the pointless audio adventures of The Weatherman by Don Fields. Let us follow the Weatherman on a typical daily search for unfound sound for our entertainment. He will excavate even his own neighbor's private backyard to find that unique sound. Could you please continue? I need to get your rototiller all on tape. And yet, he doesn't stop there. His search leads him to the root of America's desire for basic entertainment. Don't mind me. I'm here just to clean up your cable. It hasn't been the same since they replaced the Playboy channel with Spice.
Oh, I can't stand it. I just have to have that piece of meat deep inside me.
To the bowels of modern human consciousness. I must tape the pipes in this area. It has such a great echo. Into the eye of those rare Californian rainstorms. Boom. Oh, darn, that had too much bass. And he'll go out of his way from his nameless mission to warn the poor uninformed souls of the horrid dangers of old doorbell transformers. Wow, now that had great treble.
This is the last goddamn time I want somebody to use his fucking brain to not come out of a goddamn record that is that's up tempo, and I got to talk about a fucking dog dying.
Yes, folks. Whenever there's a belch of humanity, a twisted transmitted fart from the TV or radio, or even a small speck of boring human communication, the Weatherman is here. Will he ever stop? Where will he go? When all is recorded into the trash can of history. Probably end up in some stupid little fanboy script like this one.
They're having a pledge drive on WFMU, and they call it Hellraiser.
Okay.
So I've done like three voices for that, and I actually do AI voices. I do my own, and then I found an AI program that has a British voice, and I made it do that.
Okay.
So I do stuff for Don.
That's the thing, you've also been really getting into exploring AI.
Yeah, that was the last thing I wanted to bring up. It's too easy. Those things I made for you with the blanket, I did that in 5 minutes last night.
And you just put your photo into this?
Yeah, that's a still image of me with that blanket wrapped around my neck, and the AI came up with that weird laugh, and then my mustache growing hair 3 feet long. It's the weirdest thing I ever did see. It thinks that I'm like that. Literally, I'm saying it thinks because it seems like it's almost sentient. And when you do that, without any extra stuff, if you do it again exactly the same way, it's going to come up with a different rendition. Every time you do it, it's going to be different. Which I find that very fascinating. It does whatever the state of the internet is at any given time. Like if I did it today, it would definitely be different. Might be similar, but definitely different.
Yeah, so it's just almost like
And there's a few things that Mark would be very angry about. I did a couple things with Mark for his girlfriend, and that worked out pretty good. But I gotta kind of back off from that. It's just too darn easy.
yeah. I mean, I have a good friend of mine from that I went to high school with. Actually, the same high school that Charlie Kirk graduated from, of all things.
Be careful. You probably shouldn't even say that. They're
Oh.
listening.
But he also deals with AI. He actually does it for a living and consults with
Yeah.
comedians about how to use. And he's like, for him, he's the only person that I know who's very enthusiastic about AI and the whole, the idea of like basically it takes a lot of the hard work out of the create, or well, how did he say it? It's like it takes, yeah, it takes the work out in order for you to be creative.
ChatGPT released publicly, and it changed everything for me. I was like, holy crap. I was doing like months of work in like a week. And it was, it was incredible. And as more and more of these tools are coming out, I'm like, wait, I think you could do this with that. And I think that you could automate this. And like, I don't think I ever have to write an email again. And and I just got so into it. And so then that ended up becoming my career, where now I'm consulting AI and I'm teaching people how to use it and how to apply it in different workplace settings or just in their lives, just kind of helping them figure out like what are the tasks that they do and how can we use these like technologies like AI and automations to make their job easier, to allow them to take all the boring office mundane crap that you have to do and to try and eliminate as much of that as possible so you can really open your mind to the creative fun parts of your job and your life, right? I love it. I mean, I think it's just been, to me to me there's a real creativity to it, to being like, hey, I could take an app and I could build an app that every time I photograph an artwork, it'll identify the artist and tell me about the work and give me historical context. And then it'll analyze the image. And then I can ask follow-up questions and engage with it. And I can do that, And like to me, there's this creativity in that really connects to that artist side of me that I've really just been like, I've loved it. It's like, can I do this? Can I do that? Can I do this? Can I speak into my watch and then have an appointment set in my calendar? Yes, I can. And so, yeah, that's been it. That's kind of what I do.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, it's good if you don't overdo it. And I have made a deal, not with the devil, but with myself, to only use AI that's free, no sign up, and no corporate watermark. If they make me do that, then forget it. I won't use it.
yeah, that's a good.
So, this thing called Grok, that's what I'm using. It's actually from X.
Yeah, from Musk.
Now, so I heard that Elon Musk was going to make it so you couldn't make fun of Trump. But you saw what I did and nothing stopped me. I don't understand that. I guess they just like to spew stuff to scare us.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's the fear.
I hate to say this, but this place is getting to me. I think I'm getting the fear.
As we like.
I also heard that original still image, that upshot on Trump's neck, was done deliberately to make fun of him.
Oh.
I think someone at Time or Rolling Stone deliberately took that picture, and as the ladies like to say, Trump was mad as a hornet over that. And if he saw what I did, boy, they'd be coming after me. But when I tell stuff like that to Mark, and Mark is probably right, we're small potatoes. It just doesn't matter. It isn't gonna matter. No one's gonna notice.
While I can, I'm able to just like do my thing, and
Well, I do worry a little bit, and I think Mark is aware of it too. But Mark and I are just so damn white. God, I feel guilty about it. I'm very guilty of not listening to Negativland, especially the later stuff. You know, the world will decide and everything that came after that. I hardly know anything.
Okay. So that's
And Mark gets after me for that too because I won't listen to it.
he wants you to sit down and listen to that would be an interesting an interesting radio show or something where you would just
Maybe.
play the
But there's only so much I can say because I don't know anything about it. I know certain men, and there was one other thing I did. I can't remember what it was. But certain men is the biggest deal, and it applies to everything that's happening in our country now.
This is not your choice. Is this your choice? This is not your choice. No.
Certain men
Willard,
always
money system.
get their way
Willard,
in the end.
money system.
Certain men
Everything else.
getting their way
Money system.
in the goddamn end. Always. Certain men
Your success
always
depends on disruption.
get their way.
Who's to decide the limits?
Willard,
Always in the end.
To destroy
In the end.
there will always be business.
Always. Always.
Willard,
Certain men
Available for some of you.
always get their way. Computer. Now. Because the government
The ability to buy.
wants it that way. The government, why is this true? Wants it that way. Certain men
Massaging your scalp.
getting their way.
Into the thick muscles.
They always have,
Willard,
and they always will. Certain men always getting their way
Willard,
in the end.
and that's because that's almost like your what do you call it your
I know what you mean.
your catchphrase. Certain men. I mean, there's many
Yeah.
catchphrases, but that one says a lot without saying too much.
Yeah, and then all this stuff with the Epstein files. And then just about every week I see another news report of some religious guy getting in trouble for stuff.
Yeah,
Why do men in power feel they need to do that? I don't get that. I know it's just human nature.
I mean, it's that or well, I like to think that.
And I guess it's happened for hundreds of years or probably thousands of years.
Yeah. But I like to think that power doesn't corrupt, but it reveals.
Yeah, it certainly is revealing now. God almighty.
No, it's it's all the worst people that are getting in trouble for all kinds of
And then I come along and say, well, I'm attracted to melted plastic, and that's good enough for me. I'm not going to put some other person into my perverse world. Because it's nasty what I do, but it's my personal stuff, and I'm not hurting anybody.
compared to everything else. It's almost like it's cute. I mean, what's the other?
I suppose it could be cute, but
Well, the other thing that you're
let it go at that.
the thing that you were mentioning about only able to get an orgasm.
Yeah, and it's funny. I explained, I don't know if I told you the story where that all started.
No.
It started with my grandparents in 1962, and I can't remember if it was a Mercury Comet or a Ford Falcon, cream-colored with red interior station wagon. And it had a new car smell, and it was very strong. And at the time, I didn't associate it with sex. In fact, I didn't like it, but it stuck with me. And over the years, it just developed into a fetish.
Okay.
And I've had it all my life.
Okay.
And there's nothing online about people that have stuff like that or fetishes, you know. I don't like body odor, but that's mostly what other people fetishize or fantasize about. I don't.
Yeah.
And one other thing that I've discovered, ether, the smell of ether. Just the smell, not to knock me out, but like incense. And then I also read that ether is used in the manufacture of perfume, and now I know why.
That's how they.
Yeah. It's all about the smell.
Yeah, smell is key. And when did you like? So now I'm curious. So as far as like, so you got aroused by the smell of new car, like.
I don't know if it was the new car. The idea of a car isn't very arousing. It's just the smell itself.
Yeah.
And it's got to be the right kind of smell. My friend Paul, that I've been telling you about, came up to Seattle a couple of years ago, and we went to the Space Needle. And they've got this machine that will mold a little model Space Needle. And it's out of plastic, but boy, that stinks. I do not like that kind of plastic smell. No good at all. No go.
Okay, so maybe it's the type of plastics they use to get that.
It's a petrochemical thing.
Okay.
I'm not sure how to explain it.
Yeah.
But it's very specific with me, but extremely arousing when it's right.
And how?
Isn't that strange?
No, I mean.
And that's what I live for. I'm not going to impose this on some other person. Not a chance.
I mean, they always say there's somebody for someone out there, right? There's got to be some.
Maybe. I've looked it up, and there's one website that talks about people that have smell fetishes, but it's more normal. There was one article on this site that said someone was aroused by the smell of burning garbage, which I guess is pretty close. But yeah, I don't know if they liked the strong smell or just subtle. There's all sorts of these different variations.
Yeah.
Isn't that strange?
I mean, yes and no, but I mean, at this day and age, it's normal.
And I routinely joke about that with Mark to just kind of make him uneasy, just for the hell of it.
It seems so easy to get Mark upset and uneasy.
Well, he explained about it, and it's because he was actually severely bullied in high school. Now, I guess what happened to me could be considered bullying, but I changed it. I became the Weatherman.
Yeah, how did you get your name, being the Weatherman? Because I've never heard you give the weather.
All right, Weatherman, there's our first question from an interested listener.
You'd have to have gone to Alhambra High School in Martinez to find out about that. Well, I was always considered a little bit strange, so I just decided one day to start telling the weather. And I like the weather, too, actually. I'm interested in it right now as I speak.
And incidentally, this is your backstage announcer, Waxley Molding. If I'm not mistaken, the weatherman did give the weather reports over the PA system during a homeroom period. Is that correct?
No, that's really not correct.
Oh, well,
I'm sorry.
Sorry, but it's a better
I
story.
wasn't smart enough to do that. I was embarrassed about being the weatherman, too, so I never offered to do that.
And as you may have heard, the weatherman never gave the weather report over the PA in homeroom period.
That's right.
And when they first started asking me, they would say, the kids would come up to me and ask me, oh, what's the function of the vagina? And I said, I'm not going to talk about that. And then pretty soon I started just giving out the weather report, and the kids would start asking me, what's the weather like? And then they would follow up with, and this was mostly in junior high, and I don't know if I explained this to you, but it was something the kids would do as a teasing thing. They'd run up to somebody real fast and blurt out, "Does your face hurt?" And do it again several times, and then they'd snicker and say, "Well, you're hurting mine," and then they'd run off laughing.
Boy.
Just that. I don't see what good that does, but it's ridiculous and fun and funny, I guess.
Junior high kids are the worst too. They can be very.
And I guess Mark really got teased badly, and he didn't take it lightly like I did. He got very upset.
He figured out how to change or turn it around almost like a magician, where you're, instead of just because that's with bullies that's always their.
And even in grade school in Berkeley, the kids like to kick each other in the butt or punch themselves in the stomach. And that happened to me a few times, or I got the wind knocked out of me. But that's just what kids did.
Yeah.
No big deal.
And here you are. Some people either can turn it around or they become mass shooters or
I guess.
There you go. Kind of tell me.
Now, do you have friends that would appreciate my silly talk, and especially some of this more personal stuff like about the plastic and the e-stim? Would that be insulting to people? Would they be aghast at that?
I think my audience is prepared. I think I think they're ready for you. Obviously everybody that knows me knows how much how much of a fan of you guys, but also become friends. Which this is the As We Go Along with Angel Firesign Chat. It's all about friendship and And I guess one thing I wanted to ask, which I don't think I've ever asked this question to you, is what is your recipe for a long-lasting friendship?
I never really thought much about that. I actually don't know. And the reason I say it that way, because I don't think I do a very good job at keeping friends. I've known Mark for so long that we both have our issues and we just let it go. But if I wanted to have a gay friend, for example, I would fail. I wouldn't know what to do.
Well, with Mark, I guess,
he's staunchly heterosexual, and in a way that's a good thing because we know our boundaries.
Well, you wouldn't have like the Fleetwood Mac situation of band members sleeping with each other. So that's probably.
No, and I didn't know that even happened. How do you know that?
Oh, it's widely known that they were, especially those.
So members who were guys slept with each other in the band Fleetwood Mac.
No, I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about because there's a lady in that band, isn't there? Don't even remember much about it.
Well, yeah, you weren't really that wasn't your thing
I remember it. I had friends that liked regular popular music, and I knew about it, but I didn't pay much attention.
But it was two women, Stevie Nicks, Christine McVie, and then the other guy, Lindsey Buckingham, who was with Stevie Nicks, and then they're kind of.
Well, that's normal heterosexual stuff. Nothing unusual about that.
But no, as far as like a group of gay men, sleeping, I would think they would get along. I think that band would probably last a little longer, to be honest with you.
Maybe. But I don't get along with other gay men. Just in general, because I'm too strange. And with this grinder crashing business, I think a lot of gay men are pretty conservative because they're trying to protect their tribe or whatever it is, especially with the gay bears. Yeah. I know quite a few of them up here in Seattle, and there's a few that I think have wanted to be more than just friends, but I've just kind of let it go. I just can't deal with that. And also, I'm way too old. I'm 71, and most of these people I know, and probably you included, are like 10 years younger or more than I am. And even you like to come across as a senior, but you're just a babe. You've got a long way to go.
Oh shucks. Oh shucks. I get that. Yeah, no, no matter how old I feel when I'm with people who are older than me, which even as a teenager, I got along better with older people than
Okay.
my peers because, most of the peers, well, and the fact that I got held back in fifth grade. So I was at least over a year older than most of my classmates.
Yeah, and I learned this bit about saying, well, you're just a babe from my service calls. I worked in the senior citizens community in Walnut Creek called Rossmore. And often they would speak of people and they'd say, well, you're just a young one. You got a long way to go.
You just made me think of something about you and especially listening to especially the Over the Edge uh, releases, which those are my probably. I mean, the records are good, but those to me are like my favorites of them all. And
Yeah, Don Fields has been playing a lot of old Over the Edges, and I can't even imagine acting like that now. And having my job and
yeah.
having to go a whole day without any sleep, I couldn't do that now.
Right?
I'd
Yeah.
probably die.
I mean that's how I feel with playing shows. Like or even going to a concert these days. Like if it's after 8 or 9, I'm just like, I don't know if I want to go out. I used to,
Yeah.
when I was younger, I'd maybe go to 2 shows in a night sometimes. Um, but something that you just made me think about, like when you were working with senior citizens, like you always seemed a lot older than a lot of your contemporaries. And when I would hear you talking with like your parents or your mom and some of their friends, and it just seemed like you were kind of almost like an old soul, even though you're much younger. Is that about?
Well, there's a reason for that, and the reason is I was older. You know, those videos that were in the 1980s, like my birthday and Thanksgiving and Easter at my grandmother's house? I was in my 30s doing that. I wasn't some little kid.
But that's still young.
And most people, even back then, guys that were that old have moved out and were starting a family.
Yeah.
I didn't.
And your folks were okay with that?
Yeah, it didn't bother them at all.
Yeah.
And we didn't ever talk about gay stuff that never even mattered.
Wow.
We just did our thing and
Yeah.
it worked out.
And they never questioned you or like
I talked a little bit about it with my mother. My father probably would be anti-gay.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard of the John Birch Society. My father was involved with that.
Oh, okay.
I discovered he had a whole lot of books, and it was pretty racist.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But later on, I think he didn't deal with that as it was when he was younger. But after I was born, and especially when we moved to Martinez, there wasn't any evidence of that. It's after he died, I found these books.
Okay. But he kept it kind of to himself.
Yeah.
He wasn't spouting things at you during
No, not in the slightest, and not religious at all.
Okay.
None of us were religious. My grandmother was actually Catholic, but she never went to church when I was around.
Yeah.
None of us went to church, ever.
Yeah. I mean, I'm baptized Catholic myself, but
Yeah, boy, that's a completely different world. I know nothing about that. I think of people that are, shall we say, doing religion the same way as I think of people who are, shall we say, scholarly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not that. Not in
Oh,
either
no.
case.
I can't quote any Bible quotes or anything like that.
Oh, you better be careful. Someone in your family isn't going to like hearing that.
Oh yeah. I do have a copy of the Bible, but it's the there is no God, or the it's all in your head.
Oh boy, you're definitely in trouble.
Oh, yeah, I am a terrorist. Um, yeah, yeah, because I like I said, 30. I mean, nowadays that's still pretty young, but it just sounded like you were very content with older people.
Yeah, I definitely like that. Younger people would kind of, I'd be nervous because they'd catch on to what I'm about. I guess in a way, my parents and grandparents were blissfully ignorant about me, and I was the same to them. So we were happy talking about our new water heater or shopping bags.
Yeah, those are the
Or
concerns.
my grandmother's vintage Gaffers and Sattler gas stove, complete with a CP logo. I don't know if you've ever noticed on old stoves, there'd be this little sticker, a metal thing that says CP on it.
I think so,
And
yeah.
I think it had something to do with a organization called the American Gas Association. It was something that was in the 40s and 50s. And I always look for that little label on these vintage stoves.
Yeah, and that house in Martinez, you had like that wasn't a
That
vintage.
was a Wedgwood stove, an older one, probably from the possibly as early as the late 1920s, because the house in Berkeley was my father's parents' house. He just stayed, so I did the same thing.
Yeah. Okay, so that's
We just stayed in the same house. Until the former mayor of Berkeley bought our house. That was in the will. We had to do that, so we had to move.
Oh,
And
okay.
that was in 1965.
So you missed out on all the hippie drama that came.
Yeah, just a couple years later, it started in.
Yeah. And then I just learned something about the SLA, the Symbionese Liberation Army.
Oh, I remember seeing that time when they were barricaded and they burned the place. It
Yeah.
was on live on network TV.
Oh wow, another live event that you caught, huh?
Yeah, I was with one of my friends in Martinez, and we just decided to watch that.
5 suspected members of the Symbionese Liberation Army are dead following the bloodiest and most massive gun battle in the history of Los Angeles. Hundreds of police and FBI agents surrounded this small house on East 54th Street in the south central area of the city. Shortly before 6 p.m., gunfire erupted. For more than an hour, thousands of rounds of automatic weapons and small gunfire were exchanged between police and the suspects inside the house. 6 tear gas assaults were made in an attempt to flush out the fugitives, until finally, houses on either side, as well as the pink wood and stucco fortress, caught fire. A fire believed to have been started by an exploding gas canister.
There was another thing that happened in 1972. There was a terror attack at the Olympic Games.
Yes, in Munich.
Yeah, we watched that too.
There are still a lot of questions to be answered about what happened last night at Fürstenfeldbruck Air Base. However, the German authorities admit that they tried to ambush the guerrillas and failed. The ambush was attempted soon after the guerrillas and their hostages arrived at the airport by helicopter. There, they were supposed to have boarded a German jetliner for a flight to an Arab nation. The German government says it was convinced that this would have meant certain death for the Israelis, and the decision was made to try to either disable or kill the guerrillas at the airport. They admit that police sharpshooters opened fire first. The guerrillas who were not hit then opened fire on the hostages. When it was over, all 9 Israelis were dead. 5 guerrillas were killed, 3 others captured. A German policeman also died. What made the tragedy seem even worse was the fact that for hours last night, there was a report that all of the Israelis had been liberated, a report which was not denied at the time. German authorities blame poor communications with the airbase, which was completely sealed off. One newspaper summed it up by saying, whatever the truth about the tragic events of last night, Germany will emerge a loser. Lou Ciaffi, ABC News, Munich.
I mean, but apparently the SLA were they had a safe house in Concord, of all places.
That I didn't know, but one thing I did know is they had Patty Hearst make recordings and they'd send them to KPFA.
That's right.
And there's audio files that talk about that. They had a vintage equalizer called a Pultec, Pultec, and they used that to clean up the audio from Patty's tapes.
Okay.
And now they're thousands of dollars. Everybody wants a Pultec equalizer.
Jeez, so that's right, because and this was the original studio
when it was the same back then before we came in on Shattuck Avenue.
Yeah, that's something that I learned from you, which I didn't know about when you were doing Over the Edge, was you were doing it at a time when there was the 7-second delay was not even there.
Yeah, it was on that way until the mid-'80s at least, and it was so much fun. Like when I was living with Richard at a house in Pleasant Hill for a while, I had a CB radio, and here's what I did. I got onto the CB, and I got people to tune their radios to KPFA at 94.1 on their car radios. Mm-hmm. And then I called Don and I said, well, I've got all these CBers, and they're going to talk on the CB radio, and it'll go out live. And then the CBers will hear it live, no delay, through their car radios. And it worked. It worked beautifully.
Broadcast from the Solar Zone Jammer Convention. Do you have a message?
Okay, who's a bigger parody of himself, me or Roy?
Hi. No.
Well, it's a public service is what it is.
I don't believe it for a minute.
What are you saying? What are you saying? What are you saying? What are you saying? What are you saying?
KPFA in Berkeley, and they took calls from the telephone and they played tapes from 8-2, including some real gutsy stuff, and it must have been really neat, but it was on late. Early.
Late.
I didn't hear it, so I missed it. Morning, Hank.
What are you saying? What are you saying?
Who's that? One of the anti-jammer people. As if you didn't know. To prove their quote. I have a question. You guys got into amateur radio. Did you ever think you would get this? Go ahead and ask your question. KPFA thing, what's the reason behind that? Just general hell raising. Challenging the FCC's definition of obscenity.
No, that's not obscene. I'm afraid to tell you that it's not obscene. The definition of obscenity is not obscene.
Where's the battle? Oh, the jammers definitely.
Yeah, we're thinking about trying something like that, only we're going to have to use Zoom, and the caller has to listen on Zoom. They can't listen to the stream because the stream will be 30 seconds behind. Can't do it. And that's in addition to the 7-second delay for the over-the-air stuff.
Okay.
So it makes it kind of difficult, but boy was it fun. And I remember that term teletour. That was part of it too. I made this device that equalized the audio so it would sound a little better over the phone. I was actually able to put a line in and drive a phone line with it. And it worked.
And thankfully there's that recording from, I think it was from a teletour appearance in Boston, or it was on...
Yeah.
I sent it to you like a while ago.
I think I remember that. Yeah, and it didn't sound too bad. It certainly wasn't as good as a nice input in the studio, but it was better than just open mic with a telephone carbon microphone.
I mean, I could definitely hear a lot of, music and sounds much clearer through this.
And of course, virtually no delay.
The Universal Media Netweb, in cooperation with WZBC, Newton, Massachusetts, brings you an exclusive radio teletour performance live over their unique hi-fi phone line from their studios in Northern California, Negativland. Stay tuned as Negativland neatly bypasses all the inconveniences of traveling and comes directly from their house to yours by telephone. The Negativland Teletour.
It is illegal broadcasting. Some of these are young kids who just fool about with electronics and transmitters in their bedrooms. But there are some stations which are broadcasting regularly, broadcasting professional-sounding programs, some of them on the air 24 hours a day, and all of this done illegally. Well, why are these stations doing it? Can they really change the law? Some of them say they want to change the law. Can they change the law by breaking it? And why aren't the authorities able to put these stations out of business?
And I ain't heard nothing up and down the dial, in the middle of the dial, or nowhere, but a bunch of Rudy Flutes. I'm a human radio station, got it? Okay.
Yeah, and the thing is, that was before streaming, so if there was a station that was out of over-the-air range, I wouldn't be able to hear it. I never thought of it that way, but now we've got streaming, but the darn delay is there.
Yeah, and then of course noise canceling.
Yeah, boy, you gotta be really careful with that.
Yeah, it's not too bad right now, surprisingly. It's actually...
Well, that's because it's just voices. It's the noise reduction and noise cancellation works so that it allows just the human voice to come through. But sometimes it gets overdone. And a good example, if you ever see these two ladies I like playing clips of Trump, often he's in a noisy environment, like... the helicopter is right there, and they start applying noise reduction, and it starts pushing down. The treble gets more and more reduced as he's speaking, and it gets to the point where it's just garbled and mumbling. They overdo it. I wouldn't mind the helicopter blades a little bit, but that's what they do.
All right, new video dropping this morning of Trump. I'm out in front of the White House discussing Elon.
We got a lot of hostages back, so we're going to talk about that. I don't know. I think we'll have to take a look. We might have to put Doge on Elon. You know what Doge is? Doge is the monster that might have to go back and eat Elon. Wouldn't that be terrible? He gets a lot of subsidies, Peter. But Elon's very upset that the EV mandate is going to be terminated. And you know what? When you look at it, not everybody wants an electric car. I don't want an electric car. I want to have maybe gasoline, maybe electric, maybe a hybrid, maybe someday a hydrogen. If you have a hydrogen car, that's a problem if it blows up, So I'm going to give that one to Peter. I'm going to let Peter test it out.
And that's what he likes doing. That he loves having press conferences like
in a noisy environment, right by I guess that's Marine One. I think that's what they call it.
Oh dear. Yeah.
And then in the White House too, in the Oval Office, sometimes it gets very noisy and the noise reduction gets applied and it just almost cancels his voice out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At one point, they were trying to, I don't know if they were doing it as a joke, but they were speeding his voice up. And somehow that sounded a little clearer.
Yeah.
I think they finally did say they were doing it as a joke, but
oh yeah, I think
that's the sort of thing I notice.
Yeah. Well, Mary Trump,
yeah, I need to start watching her stuff.
She's great, and she does the thing whenever she plays any of Trump's stuff, she'll speed it up.
As he tried desperately during another long, rambling speech to be coherent. I'm sorry. I think that's giving him a little too much credit. In what universe has Donald ever tried to be coherent? I think he just assumes that he is, and the rest of us just need to catch up. But let's watch this short clip and see if there's anything that stands out.
As a linguist, translator, and cryptologic technician.
Okay.
Right, and although it is kind of funny to play him at half the speed because he sounds like he's a drunk.
Yeah.
You really want to, he sounds like somebody's drunk uncle. You just slow it down.
The other thing, it's really bad. I don't know if you saw the red carpet roll out in Alaska for Putin.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That was just rotten to the core, but they did a test. They showed Trump walking on the red carpet and he was just going back and forth.
Yeah.
He could hardly walk.
Yeah.
And dragging one of his feet.
Yeah.
And they're speculating that he's got some kind of a problem with one of his legs.
Yeah. I mean, when you see that, what do you think? I know you're not a doctor, so you can't really.
Well, I think it's similar to the trouble with Biden.
Yeah.
He was pretty sick too.
Yeah. Yeah, the prostate cancer, he was getting that treated.
And then they show the back of one of Trump's hands is all bruised. I've got a few bruises like that myself, not as bad as what they shown, but they don't cover his stuff up. I would think they would have done a better job, and it looks really bad.
They were doing it, and then I think the more the press was emphasizing it, and then he was even covering his hand up, and it's just like.
Oh, and one more thing that kind of sticks in my mind. The garbage bags flying out of a window in the White House.
Yeah.
And they're speculating it's Trump's medical waste.
Oh.
Some awful thing like that. God almighty.
I mean, what did your mom say? Like the older I get, the weirder things are.
Yeah, and it was like 45 years ago.
We live in a weird time, don't we? I don't understand it either. And it seems like the longer you live, the weirder it gets.
And some people, I'll tell you, I think this is true. If my mother was alive today, with all the scammers, the cheaters, and liars, she wouldn't last a week. She'd be scammed out of existence.
Yeah, yeah.
Same for my grandmother.
Yeah. I mean,
the British guy on Facebook left, I think, the what is it, the Where Are My Cigarettes video where she's in the red suit, and I left that comment, and he put a heart by it. He understood.
Yeah.
That just wouldn't fly today. She'd be gone.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm glad that, I mean, obviously your parents, your mom sounded like a really fun lady and
Yeah, absolutely.
really sweet, and there's that story of one of your fans coming to your house looking for you or something.
And it was sounded like some young man.
Yeah.
And he asked for David to begin with. And David wasn't there. So I said, well, David isn't here right now. And he said, oh, you're David's mother, aren't you?
Oh.
And I said, yes. And he said, oh, he started talking about all the things that I had said on some of these tapes that David has, you know, and he's played over the radio. And he says, I remember when you said something about your neighbor was going to pick you up and take you to some meeting, and she forgot all about it.
What about the Tupperware?
Yeah, she was going to take, it was when Marilla lived there, and she was going to take me to a Tupperware party, and somehow or other she forgot all about it, and she never did pick me up. And it made me kind of mad. And this guy had heard me talking about that over a tape. And so he was real excited. He said, you know, I don't like your neighbor. And then he started talking all about poppy seeds. You know, one time we talked about baking and poppy seeds. And he was saying, how do you like your poppy seeds these days, you know? I never saw that guy before, or anything about him. And he seemed to know all about me, you know.
It was the
fan that I think made a drawing of a home research steam cleaning.
Okay.
Which I have somewhere. It's a great big thing on manila paper taped together with a picture of a steam cleaning machine that he drew. And I can't find the damn thing. I had it for years in Martinez up in a closet, but it's gone now. And I think they went up to 180 and they checked out the Safeway store. And somebody just recently went there again, and the steam cleaners are still right where they were 40 years ago, right at the front of the store. And they're steaming mad at dirt.
I remember Mama before we rented the rug doctor. Oh, how hard she scrubbed with the little wand of that other steam rental cleaner. Now we rent the rug doctor twice a year. Easy does it. It rolls on big wheels and does all the scrubbing for me. Hot solution is jetted into the carpet. The vibrating brush breaks up the dirt, and Rug Doctor lifts it up and away.
When you rent the Rug Doctor, easy does it.
Rug Doctor steaming mad at dirt.
I can't, every time I see a steam cleaning machine, especially at the grocery store, I think of you constantly.
Yeah, and I rented it a lot for our own stuff. The cats that my mother had did quite a bit of messes and throwing up, and I got that cleaner in there quick. And I could tell there was a lot done, because when Richard and I ripped up the carpet, we saw all these circular stains, and that was where the cat messed, and I'd used the cleaner. There were probably 24 of them all over the old carpet we ripped up.
Yeah. We've kind of talked about renting a steam cleaner, but can you attest to the wonders of steam cleaning?
It seems to work because the water is all gray and has grit in it. If it's got a lot of suction, it's doing its job. And they did. Those early ones were better than the ones now. I have 2 that I bought off of Amazon, and they're not very good, and they're plastic and they're heavy. But I got them, and I do use them once in a while. I accidentally spilled some chicken fat on the living room rug, and I had to get the cleaner on that.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think we need to hit our room with the steam cleaning machine. I'll have to.
Is it because of your pet there?
Well, yeah. And this is Mochi. You've met Mochi before.
I think you've mentioned. Is that a female or a male?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that the name just sounds unisex. I wouldn't know what to think.
Right. But
And I'm sure that's on purpose. That's
I mean,
fine.
yeah. Well, we have two cats, and then this guy, and their names go with the letter M. So we have Mittens, Mochi, and then the other cat, Michael.
Now, do the two cats get along with each other?
They brawl, unfortunately. I mean,
Seriously, or as my friend Paul says, play fighting.
no, serious. It gets
So they could draw blood and the fur flies.
and here's the thing too. The one cat, one of the aggressive cats, Michael, was having issues with his urinary tract where he was pissing blood.
Ooh, that's bad.
Yeah.
I know my mother went through that. When we first moved to Martinez, she got our first cat, and it was just horrible. It was some kind of a shelter, and they didn't take care of the cats, and I guess because it was a good deal, she got this cat, and it started getting sick, and she just had a terrible time. She laid on the floor with the cat while its belly was swelling up with the urinary problem. There's nothing she could do about it. She was crying while the cat died. And that was in the probably 1967. Yeah, that was one of the worst times for my mother. She loved that cat, and we only had it a few days, and it started getting sick that way. Yeah, she was out in this back porch area, and there was cat sand scattered all over the floor, but my mother just laid on the floor in the cat sand with this cat while it was dying. And she was actually bawling at one point. She was so upset about this cat. And she realized she learned her lesson. We were never going to get a cat from a shelter that doesn't, they had no shots or anything.
Yeah.
And it's funny, all the other cats that we got were stray cats, but with sassy sister Susie and Stinkerton and Buddy, they went to the vet and got them checked out and got the shots.
Okay. So they were.
So that's why they lived so long. And I forgot about Big Butt.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
the big white one.
Okay.
He first showed up while we were eating outside, having a barbecue one night, and this white cat just comes waltzing down the walk, and he decided to stay. My mother noticed that he smelled like perfume, and he never went back to his owners. I wonder if someone just dropped him off. And he lasted like 22 years.
Wow.
He was still around. I think he was still around after my father died in 1998.
Okay. That's right. So, and you guys lived together till the end?
Yes, I remember I had to, like with Richard, I had to call the ambulance against my father's wishes to go to the county hospital.
Oh, okay.
But he thanked me as I visited him a few times before he passed away in the hospital.
Okay. You able to have do you have any family left of any of the Wills, or are you the?
I don't think so. I think they kind of disowned me. Maybe I'm wrong, but we just kind of parted ways. They're all in California, if they're even around.
Oh, you mean your father's side, or both your?
All of both sides.
Wow.
I don't know what happened to any of them. They're just gone.
Wow.
There was quite a few relatives that lived in Santa Rosa with my grandmother, and I got the vague idea that a couple of the young boys were gay, but I think it was meant to be kept quiet, and then I lost track of that completely.
Jeez. Okay.
Did you ever see any of the family reunion with all the family on my mother's side at the Russian River?
No.
I was thinking of maybe getting a little bit of that and sending it to you. There's a scene where they're in a rubber raft out on the river with no life jackets.
Oh. Just taking a chance.
And then there's another scene where they all the family brought their big motor homes, and we all gathered together in this one, and a honeybee got into the motor home, and everyone was talking about it and wondering where the bee is going, and is it going to sting me or not? You seem like you remember that.
It was. Didn't I see it in No Other Possibility in the
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah, there was a little bit. That's a little bit of that video I shared.
Yeah, because there's a line about
In the motorhome, and the bee is in there,
right.
and the relatives are all in there, and we're all talking about the bee.
Right, and then something about signing a treaty.
Yeah, and I think one of my mother's uncles, Uncle Charlie, had his big rifle, and he was explaining about how his gun worked.
Okay.
I don't know if we had that in the video or not. I'll have to look for that because it's on one of the hard drives here.
Did he have tattoos?
Yeah, I think he had like a lady on one arm.
I do remember. So
I think my grandfather had a couple tattoos as well.
I swear, because when I watched, I know exactly the scene because it's motorhome, and you don't see him, but you just see his arm, and it's like
and there is that's definitely you did see that. Okay.
He's coming over here.
What's happening?
I don't want to sit where the darn bee is going to come. Where is he now? Did he fall behind? Oh, is he going to stay there or something? Oh,
you don't have to watch it. You know when he gets
oh, heck, I don't want to wait.
Cut his abdomen off. Some covers man.
He's going my Uncle Charlie.
They're just full of it. I put my hand down one of them and got it right. It swells up.
And don't it hurt for about 5 minutes?
He left his stinger in there, and I had to pull it out.
One got me in my rose bushes. I hope he don't get you.
He's kind of flying right
now.
He's
I
sitting
signed
down.
a peace treaty with him.
I mean, I haven't seen The Raft. I want to. Yeah, that one would be.
Yeah, I haven't shown that to anybody because I was afraid people are going to say, "Well, you bad man, you should have got life jackets for them."
You're like, come on,
How
guys.
dare you do that?
This happened. This was in the 80s. Come on, guys. Relax.
Yeah, 1987 at the Russian River in Sonoma County, which isn't too far from Santa Rosa. Okay. And that's not too far from that place where all the rich people get together and have their big party in July.
Oh, Bohemian Grove?
Yeah, it's right close to that.
Oh, okay, yeah. I just learned about that probably in the last couple of years about Bohemian Grove and just that.
I don't know if Trump went to it, but one time there's a recording of Nixon talking about it, and the thing that is funny, he gets upset and he says, "That's the most goddamn faggy place I've ever seen." So that really says a lot, I think.
Let's look at Northern California. You understand? Yeah. You know what San Francisco just gone. It's clear over. I know, but it isn't just down in the ratty part of town. But the upper class in San Francisco is that way. The Bohemian Grove that I attend on time to time, the Easterners and the others that come there. But it is the most faggy goddamn thing you will ever imagine in San Francisco crowd because it's just terrible. I mean, I never want to shake hands with anybody in San Francisco.
It's been like, people have infiltrated it. There's a YouTube channel that we follow.
Yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
Alex Jones, he got in.
He got in, and then...
yeah, he's the one that says... The frickin' frogs are gay, and there's a big long loop of a techno piece that runs like 8 hours of him pounding his fist on his desk.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that actually is related to plastic. Because when microplastics get in, it affects what is called the endocrine system, and it can cause males to have female characteristics, and that's what Alex Jones picked up on.
Yeah, jeez, what a mental case. And But I was going to say,
but it is sexy nevertheless.
but back to Bohemian Grove. There's a channel that I follow. We watch called the Grim Life Collective. It's like
Yeah, my friend Paul knows them. I think they have a Tesla. I think that's what they go around in.
Oh, interesting. They actually visited. They were outside of the Bohemian Grove, like the gates.
I did see that. They didn't get much further, but they did go there. You're right.
And then they went to the building that I guess is the address of this, whoever's in charge of this.
Oh, the building in San Francisco. Yeah. Yeah, I watched that whole video. I remember that about a year ago.
Gotcha.
I don't know if you're familiar with the Russian River, but that's a pretty well-known place. It goes back to when the hippies went there in the 60s.
No, I don't. I mean,
Yeah, it's all kind of ties in.
well, one of these days, and this is Athena and we always talk about going out west because there's a number of people to visit, like, and you included, if there's ever a chance for us to.
Well, that would be a lot of fun. I hope I am strong enough to get this place in shape.
Yeah.
But the whole downstairs, it's a split level. That's where the sewage came in, and I haven't touched it because I was so upset over that $51,000 bill. But Mark is helping me. I might get some money back.
I hope.
We'll see, keep our fingers crossed. And if I do, I'll feel better. I notice when things start to happen that are positive, it affects my physical well-being. I feel better right now. My stomach was cramping last week when I wasn't sure about this homeowner's insurance policy. I was trying so desperately to get the old one canceled. So it's a whole lot better. I'm saving $4,000 right off the bat.
Save those nickels.
And it was my own fault because when I moved here, I just let the bank set up the homeowner's insurance and I didn't bother with it. It wasn't that high back in 2002. But they changed to another company 2 years ago, and that's when the rates went up.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I burped.
Oh, I mean, that was didn't even notice that.
That's just as well.
I actually my parent has been helping my dad with that as well, with trying to get a different health or home insurance.
Yeah. I hope he doesn't have a homeowners association. They're horrible.
Well, I've seen plenty of YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know if those videos are staged, but they're absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Angry women, and the people always have a Ring doorbell. I recognize that tone it makes.
Yeah.
There's one guy with a ginger beard. He's in Florida. He's absolutely ridiculous. What do they call him? The HOA guy. Nothing very creative, but he gets after these people for little things. He comes up and says, you're not allowed to have a light on your porch more than 40 watts. And maybe they have a 60-watt bulb. Or your grass is too tall. It's half an inch too tall. We're going to fine you. That sort of thing. And it's absolutely ridiculous.
Good morning, neighbor. I have 3 fines here that I'm going to give you. One is obviously for your trash can. You've been told several times that if you have a trash can out here, it has to have a lid on it, and you still have not cooperated with that. The other fine that I have is for the weeds. Weeds in your yard are out of control. They're starting to grow into the sidewalk when people walk by, so that's another fine. And last but not least, you're getting a fine for being an asshole, okay? Yeah, you can get a fine for being an asshole. It doesn't specifically say that, but it's for being disobedient and uncooperative. So that's a fine as well. I'm gonna leave these 3 fines here on your front door. I expect these fines to be paid by the date that's indicated on the letter, sir. Have a great day.
They're pretty mild, but they have a new guy that's the HOA guy who's a bit of a he's a busybody. But so my dad, as a joke, he put a guitar tuner, like one of the ones that you can put on your headstock, and it almost looks like a camera. And
Oh, okay.
he stuck it outside the garage.
So that's not a capo.
No.
That's something you stick on to change the whole tuning.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So this is an actual tuner. Okay, I never heard of that. Okay.
Yeah, you see them a lot now, but yeah, you put it on the headstock and then you just tune it. But most people don't know what that is. Then some of them think it's a camera. If you point it, so he had to point it just as more of like a deterrent,
Yeah.
And somebody from
Did it get the job done?
Basically, yeah, it keeps people away. But the HOA guy said, you're not supposed to have any cameras on your property like that.
They always have an excuse.
Yeah.
Now, I have a problem with cameras. I'd like to have a security camera, but the problem is, and I think the criminals and the scammers are catching on. You go up to it and you just destroy the camera because it's right there. I would only have one if it's out of range and it would have to be concealed so they wouldn't even know there's a camera there. So there is one technology I've been thinking about. It's called the peephole camera. I have a peephole, but you replace the lens with an actual camera, and it looks just like a peephole, but it's a camera.
Okay.
And it transmits over Wi-Fi. But they're not very good. They're not rated very highly.
Okay.
But I'm thinking about that.
Especially with your fear of, you've told me about
Yeah, there's knocks on the door and no door tag, and I have no idea what the people want. It kind of happens in waves. Some weeks I'll get 2 or 3 of them all at once. This week has been very quiet. It's similar to those scam calls I'm getting where I get them and I amplify all the phone noises and their voice.
Mm-hmm.
You've probably seen a couple of those. I do it quite a bit.
Hello. 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 Are you there? Hello. Releasing the call to generic response. Releasing the call to generic.
Yeah, no, that's like, yeah. I mean, you kind of have a consistent theme on your social media, whether it's.
There's a few that I haven't done yet, and I don't know if I'm going to post them because in the transcription, it actually transcribes the voice. It says, "This is from the jail." And then it says, if you wish to keep this number, press this. If you wish to cancel it, press this. And that happened 2 times. This is from the jail. Why would they, if they think they're trying to pull a fast one on me, that sure isn't going to do it. Or the other thing that's fairly new, just someone out of the blue comes on and says, "Hi, how you doing?" And they hang up, just that. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, that's no.
And my mother and my grandmother would fall for those.
See, you're not that dumb, David. See, that's, I mean, God bless your mother and grandmother, and you have to be very honest to know that about your own family, that they're like that they could have been duped into savings.
Something I learned from my favorite tech reporter, whose name is Leo Laporte. You should watch him sometime. His philosophy, I don't know if it was him or one of his guests that said something, and the phrase is, "Trust no one, even your friends." So I'm thinking this gorgeous gay guy that I know in Seattle with a great big beard that wants to be friendly with me, maybe he wants to do me in. So I'm not going to deal with it. And if he was really wanting to be my friend, I'm sorry. There's no way of finding out. And that leads me to another thing I've been listening. There's YouTube videos called Grinder Horror Stories. And I mean, it's really horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're true or not, but I think some of them are.
I gotta check that out. Yeah.
Like the person that's going into a torture chamber. There was one video where the guy said, well, I'm hooked up with this guy, I'm going over, but when he gets there, the front door is open, all the lights are off, and he can see down this long hall, and there's candles lit in a back room.
Let me go there.
Just like that, and then horrible things happen, and he finally he's running for his life out of the house. To hell with Grindr.
Yeah.
How do these politicians get away with it without something like that happening to them?
Right? Either there must be, either with their detail or they're packing. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's, and I often will bring this up with Mark. He doesn't like to talk about it at all. No.
Oh, these are the things.
Does it bother you that I don't know if I said this earlier when we started. I said, and I'm thinking about, I'm so gay in an extreme sort of way that I will assume that anyone who's heterosexual is probably homophobic, no matter what. You just have, because it's human nature. You have to be homophobic. You're either one way or the other way, and you're going to be phobic of the other way that you are. Isn't that true to some degree?
Well, for some, I mean, for me, I'm not.
You feel you're more neutral or balanced or fluid?
I'm very, I guess, all the above. So balanced and fluid and
I'm heterophobic. Heterophobic. I don't think anyone's ever said that. I've never said it until just now. I'm heterophobic.
Okay. I like that. I mean, that's as you should.
And it's too bad, I shouldn't be that way. I like ladies and women, and my friend Leah, did I ever tell you about Leah?
I think so. Yeah.
And unfortunately, she passed away too. She's the one that got me started going to the hospital for my heart condition. I might be gone if it wasn't for Leah. And she was a lesbian and very, very nice. She got me out of the house. And she helped me meet up with some other gay guys, bear types in Seattle. But we don't speak. I'd have to have Leah to help things along, and I don't have anyone like that. And I'm so old that I don't care anymore. It's a joy to be alone. And Mark likes to come on and say, oh, well, you're gradually going to start getting sick, and you're going to need someone to stay with you. And that scares the hell out of me, because they're going to see all of my sex toys, and I do have quite a few of them, and I'm not very fussy about keeping them put away. And that bothers me to no end. I do not want someone in my house.
Well,
being alone is where it's at.
Well, in the event of something happening, I mean, would you want to have
I'm thinking, hopefully it's so catastrophic that I'm dead, and then it won't matter. I actually think those thoughts.
Yeah.
Then they can see everything, and it's not going to make any difference.
I mean,
I'm so bad, and this is getting really personal, but we'll stop after this. I've actually printed out glossy photos of people that I like. I haven't done one for you, but I've been tempted to. Let's put it that way.
Well, I'd be honored. I mean, that.
just for me to get off with. That's so nasty.
That's okay. I
But
mean,
that's what I do.
that's the thing. I mean, as heterophobic as you are, I am the opposite of homophobic. I have a lot of friends in the community. Some of my favorite YouTube content makers, would consider themselves queer, or they're trans, or they're or
Oh, boy, and
non-binary.
I knew a trans guy and knew one of my other friends a few years ago, and he's a Native American
Oh, wow.
and living in Arkansas, which is red. And then the last I spoke with him, he moved to Oklahoma, which is even more red. And then I lost track of him, and he did a complete transition, and I complimented him. He was female to male, and I was saying what a handsome guy you are. And I actually was able to say that before we lost track of each other.
Wow. Interesting. Yeah. But no,
Oh, I see those whiskers. Who's
there you
that?
go. There's Mittens, or as we've been calling Mittens now, we call him Lucille, like Lucille,
Okay.
like Lucy from I Love Lucy,
Yeah.
always
Lucille Ball.
wanting to be in Ricky Ricardo's show constantly, and Mittens constantly tries to get into the scene. You can say hi. He can say
Make her hiss.
yeah.
No, that's just something I like to say. And the reason I like to say it, it's the way I spell it. Maker hiss. It's all one word. Makerhiss. And I like to do that with cuss words. All of a sudden he fucked her.
Yeah.
Fucter. Or fucked him. Fuctim. I just like doing that for some reason. I have no idea why.
Yeah.
I just get a thrill out of doing that.
I like that you embrace, the sassy side of you, David, and the spicy.
I've always liked that.
Yeah.
It started probably, even with my pet toads. I could tell I'd pick up the male toad, he'd start squeaking, and I don't think he disliked it.
Mm.
And then my parakeets, boy, they were extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever played that thing where I had a friend over from high school. We were trying to make a recording. Every time he'd start talking, Green Boy would start scolding very loud.
I've heard the recording of you talking about Green Boy is something about, oh my God, what was it?
Yeah, Green Boy is extremely mad and he's going to start scolding.
That's right. And that's
and he certainly did.
I mean, you know how some people decipher Pink Floyd symbolism in records. I've still been trying to decipher a lot of the things that you guys or that you talked about.
Yeah.
Not knowing that sometimes it's just as simple as like a family.
Yeah.
Every family has their own language and their own
absolutely.
And you guys are no different than any family who has customs. But and I think I just enjoy the I know. Well, nowadays people do the whatever the streaming, just live streaming.
Yeah.
And streaming real life, but in a way you were doing it beforehand, but you were recording it. And
there's another person on Facebook. He calls himself Weird Paul. Have you ever seen him? He looks like Mo Howard from the Stooges.
Yeah.
He was doing that in the 1980s, and I actually talked to him once, and he was transferring his videos pretty much the same way that I was doing.
Okay.
There's a little converter box, and we were using the old technology called, what is it? Not Lightning, not Thunderbolt. God, I can't think of it, but it was it was before USB.
Okay. Yeah.
And straight into a video editor, and it would make a big giant file called an AVI file, and then you edit it, and then you export it as an MP4.
Okay.
all my stuff. And Paul was doing it that way too.
So you and Paul were chatting back and forth, and he's a fan.
Just briefly, I don't think he likes me very much. I just assume people don't like me. And there's one, I go out of my way, John has his group of people, Mark has his group of people, and I get the feeling that John's group is more scholarly. And I get the feeling they probably don't want to talk to me. So I shy away.
Or they just don't know how to talk to you. I mean, that's the thing.
Maybe. And you're pretty good. I'm surprised that you could tolerate me.
I love it. I mean,
how about Athena? Is she going to be giving you hell when we're done, or she okay with that?
She's very supportive. From like I said, Athena is just happy that we're still friends.
Well, that's great. Can't beat that, I guess.
I don't know if anyone has ever told you, but I do love you, David. I love you with all.
Well, in a way, I guess I should say the same thing, but the problem with me, so much of it is sexual energy.
Okay, yeah.
That's the way I am with it always goes back to sex. Right. The love part is tough for me to imagine. It's always ultimately the orgasm. It's just like the Playboy channel.
Sure.
And that's why I did the Playboy channel. It's related to this stuff that we're talking about.
Yeah. I mean,
And, I do the U2 song and I talk about melted plastic.
Yeah.
And that's all part of this sex fetish I have.
So you've been very vocal about it on various records, live shows. So it's not like it's been a secret.
Let me say one last silly thing, and you may want to censor this. I asked Mark and John, would it be okay if in great big red letters I make a post and it's just a single sentence and all it says is, and all of a sudden, semen shot 3 feet in the air. And just leave that as a post just like that. Wonder what they'd do. Would Facebook censor me? Or did I get a response? Thinking about all this stupid Trump stuff makes me want to say stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like everyone's saying very.
And there's a video or a still shot of Trump with a big stain on his pants, where he's with the young girls around a pool.
I heard about that. I've never seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it. And I have a thing for that. I like to say, and all of a sudden he came in his pants. It gives me a thrill to say that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm kind of angry, but kind of happy at the same time.
Yeah, making a mess in your pants is kind of,
Say it fast. All of a sudden he came in his pants.
All of a sudden he came in his pants.
Good, you did it right.
We're gonna keep that. So
okay, yeah, you're welcome to. If it gets laughs and nobody complains, I'm doing it more because comedy is considered terrorism now because of the Jimmy Kimmel thing. That's the reason. Comedy is terrorism. Yeah. And I'm not going to put up with that.
Although they were saying, the Trump regime was all about bringing back comedy because it's been outlawed, apparently. I don't know if you knew this, but it was already against the law until they came into office. And
that makes no sense, but I'll take your word for it.
But yeah, no, that was like, because they couldn't say the I'll edit
this. That's the opposite. That's being too woke.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a friend in LA that I think he may have lost his job because they needed to have a person of color in his place as a college professor.
Oh.
I think. I'm probably wrong, and I hope I am wrong.
There was a DEI hire. Interesting.
Yeah, like that can go too far the other way.
I mean, it's no. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you can either go too far right extremist, or you could be completely left to the point where you're alienating
But the
everything.
problem is that's human nature. We are all apes,
Mm.
That's how it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to say that's just the motherfucking way it is. I never used to cuss, but boy, do I like it now.
Isn't that from Paulenka?
Yes, I was trying to remember the name. That's what he says. He gets so worked up. That's just the motherfucking way it is.
That's just the fucking way it is.
The guys get the shirts.
The guys get shirts. Don't make a fucking maniac out of me.
Yeah, that's it. You do know that one.
Oh.
I really like that. That's the ultimate of being sassy, in my opinion.
It's very sad. And of course,
not gonna mess with Paul. That's for sure.
No, I mean, I used to think he was kind of soft until I heard that recording, and I'm like, okay,
yeah,
I can't mess with him or Buddy Rich.
Yeah, the problem, I guess, another term that these people that are like that are more capitalistic. They're psychopaths.
Mm-hmm.
Or narcissistic. That's another term I hear bandied about.
Yeah, no, narcissism. There's a lot.
And I think I'm probably that way too, but I'm trying not to be too mean and nasty.
Yeah, just a little bit of kindness. That's all.
Yeah.
Goes a long
Boy,
way.
there's a guy on Instagram, a real sweet bearded guy, and he likes to carry around a great big sign that just says kindness on it.
Oh, I'll have to look that guy up.
He calls himself Pandy.
Pandy.
Yeah, and he has a panda mask he wears all the time. But he likes to smoke his dope. But that doesn't bother me at all. I don't mind that. That he isn't someone, on like a junkie on fentanyl. It's just marijuana. And that's perfectly fine. There's a big difference between that two types of drug use.
Wow. I think with at least better to have weed smokers in your life, because they're
Nothing wrong with that. Even though when I first knew about marijuana a long time ago, I got all upset and I said, "Oh, that smells like rancid Kentucky Fried Chicken." I don't know why I said something like that, but that's the very first time I smelt marijuana smoke. Actually, marijuana smoke has a slight skunky odor to it. It's kind of acrid, like kind of skunky. Isn't that right?
Yes,
A little bit.
Depends on the strain, yeah.
Yeah. And this must have had quite a bit of that, or I wouldn't have said such a thing.
Okay, yeah. Wow. All right. I better get going here, Dave.
Yeah, you're going to run out of... well, I guess your hard drive will go forever, but yeah.
Yeah.
I almost said tape. There's no such thing as tape anymore.
I still hear people say tape.
Yeah, even people with smartphones say, well, I got it on tape. It's not. If they say got it on video, then that's okay.
Yeah. Does that drive me nuts when people say that? Like, I just recorded this on tape.
Yeah, these videos where these ladies that are known as Karens, they're always saying that.
Yeah. Those are funny things to watch. Body cam videos too are a hoot.
Yeah, they're getting more popular now. Absolutely.
I'll go down that. But then if I watch a lot of those videos, I get nothing done. So, well,
damn it, I burped again.
Oh, I didn't even notice again. But
I know. That's why I shook my head, because it kind of masks the whole thing. When I told you about the two ladies, I thought you were kind of put off by that.
No.
So you would look at those if I found one, because they're really funny.
Yeah. No,
but they're serious too. They're talking about all the awful stuff, but then they spice it up a bit. They cuss. Trump is a motherfucker. They don't hold back. They like to call him a titty baby more than anything. And they have a name for him, Taco Cankles McTaco Tits. and Kanks for short.
That's
So
awesome.
if I send you, you hear her saying that, that's what it means.
No, I know those ladies. I forget
I've had it.
I've had it. They're great. I mean, that's the kind of energy we need to
Yeah.
get us
And
through.
Fox News apparently has complained about them.
Oh, so they're already on their.
Oh, yeah.
So
Trump and everybody knows about these ladies. And they're right in the middle of Oklahoma, too, and they know it.
you
But
know,
they don't let that stop them.
you know who's terrorists? Female podcasters. Those are real terrorists.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't, that sounds like someone would say that on Fox News. Oh, and somebody actually said on Fox News, I'm remembering this stuff now, about homeless people. Round them up and shoot them.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you hear that one?
Sure did. That was
And they didn't bat an eye saying that.
no, it's it's incredulous the lack of empathy with anybody these days.
And then what is known as the legacy media
Yes.
and the Democratic Party in general, they're just kind of letting it happen.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're sending out very strong worded emails and doing very angry or upset press conferences, but other than that, that's
But Bernie Sanders can't do it all by himself.
mm-mm. Same with AOC.
Yeah, it's just, I never thought I'd be interested in politics, but I sure am now.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, Athena and I are constantly watching political content and doing trying to stay on top of things, but but also for our own well-being and our own mental health, we have to balance it. So
Yeah, sometimes it's just, even with the two ladies, it's so negative, I just have to skip it
yeah,
and watch a TV repair video. There's a guy that fixes vintage TVs. He's real funny. He's even played Negativland on his show.
Very weak. This tube has got to be very weak. Look at how baked the socket is. How about a little of this? See even who gets what this is.
Sycamore is open. That's how Sycamore opened. That's how Sycamore is.
It goes by Shango 066.
Right, Shango 066. Yes.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. I think he's kind of right wing, but he has humor. It's more like
Yeah, I picked up a little.
who's kind of right wing but yet humorous. Who's that big podcaster? Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah, well, he's not even. I think isn't he a libertarian? Whatever that is.
Yeah, there's some of those people aren't too bad, and Shango is a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Not bad though.
Yeah.
He sticks to the technical stuff. Well, I better let you get going. Yeah, man, you've got way more. You got a lot of work ahead of you.
Oh, I got, especially with this, and I got a few more shows to edit. Yeah, it's
Okay.
But I'm glad to catch you. Hopefully, another year doesn't lapse, and we can.
Yeah, I'm sorry I took so long to respond. I'm that way with everybody.
Yeah.
There's a guy named Austin Rich. I don't know if you've heard his name, in Eugene, Oregon. I'm working with him in a similar way that I work with you. And I just put it off and put it off to the point where I wouldn't blame you if you hated me in the long run.
Well, and that's something that I've had to be as a friend to a lot of people, is just giving people that I care about grace and patience.
But
So
months and years, that kind of patience. My concept of time is so different.
Yeah.
I mean, most people are multitaskers. I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm this way.
Yeah. But at the same time, I don't mind if I don't hear from you for a while. As long
Yeah,
as
I like to say, please don't hate me. I'm not that kind of a person. I am selfish. I'll admit that. That's part of it. And Mark has complained to me about that. I am selfish. I tend to mind my own business, and I like it that way. So if that doesn't bother you, I feel better already just knowing that.
No, I mean, as long as I see you online that you're, having fun and posting things.
That I like to try to maintain a cheery demeanor on Facebook. And lately, because of this business of comedy is terrorism, I'm going to try to stress to do more funny things if I can.
While we can, right?
Yeah.
But, all right. Well,
that was very fun, Angel. Thank you for allowing me.
No, thank you.
Let me know when you're ready with it, and I'll watch it. I'll send a copy to Mark. He'll probably hold his head laughing.
Let's see what we can do. See if I can do this without dropping anything. I'm going to set this back up and readjust, and I'll be right with you in just a moment. And here we are.
Octagonal.
And I've got a few things I want to tell you before we move on.
Official.
First of all, I'm going to move really close to the camera. Let's see if I can do it. Let me see. Is it possible that maybe you could see my nose hair?
Yes!
I'm almost freaking my neck here trying to get it to show. I know someone on the Tiny Desk concert saw my nose hair and they didn't like it. That's what's stressing this.
Boo!
Here's another thing. I am not a musician. Not a musician. Got it?
Liar!
Keep that in mind. And there's one more thing before we move on. I want you to know that you can laugh all you want. Keep on laughing. You can even laugh at me. In fact, I encourage you. Laugh away into oblivion. And now I'm going to try something else here. Let's see if I can press this button and make this work. So here we go. And I'm going to come over like this, move this along, and we're almost there. And
hey!
Look at that little thing going around the top. That little top knot. Isn't it cute? Ooh, and look at this. Look at how my beard sticks out from underneath. Look at it. Almost looks like an atomic bomb. I want to start the beat. Can we have the beat, please? The beat. I'm waiting. The beat. The beat. Can we have the beat? The beat, please. I don't hear it. Come on, the beat. Come on, the beat. I think I'm starting to hear it. There we go. Beat. Beat. Say it.
Black Sabbath.
70. 8. 8 Slippy. 8 Sparky. Papa. Right along. 8 Bugle. Conductor. 8 Bugle. Conductor. 8 Bugle. Conductor. I gotta sing now. Stop it, Boomer. That's it. We're done. I wonder if maybe you guys can turn that thing around so maybe I can see the audience. Do you think you could do that for me? Is that possible? TMI table? Isn't that great? You know, little fans in the air. Whoops, I'm on the wrong picture. Looking at my little ankle cover. Let's see if I can switch this around. And then we have the credits now, please. I want to see some credits. Think you can do that? I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I wonder if it's broken. Do you think you can roll credits or not? You can't? All right. Well, I think this has been the Weatherman. I've been live on the internet from Seattle, Washington. Hope you all had a great time. I'm going to say good night.
Pathetic.
Good night. I'm going into my dark place. This is very awkward. I'm in my dark place now. Oh, but oh, good. Yeah, I'm in my dark place. I still see it. It's on. Off, please. Off.
Oh, before I forget, before we leave, you want to have an awkward moment?
Yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to take a picture while we have an awkward moment. Okay. I will. I'm going to take a picture here. There we go. Awkward moment.
Okay.
Awkward.
Yeah, I always come on the chat room on Don Field's show as the very last because it switches off of his feed back to the automation and there's an awkward moment of silence, and I usually like to type that in right before it switches over.
Right. Well, I'll do that right now. So I'm going to end this meeting.
Okay, well, that was a lot of fun, and we'll look forward to talking to you again.
Yeah, let's keep in touch. I'm looking for whenever you finish or whenever you get a chance to send me that stuff. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, hopefully in the next few days, because I still got a little time before I have to really buckle down with this rehearsing. Might even get something before the end of the weekend. We'll see.
Okay. No rush.
Okay?
All right, then.
All right. Well, you have a good night. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.